Hey guys, welcome to Franklin Woodworks. Today I'll be doing some things that will give the guitar a boost in what I like to call perceived build quality. And what is that, you ask? Well, build quality means different things to different people, so I'll tell you what it means to me by way of example. The difference between a custom shop Stratocaster and a bullet Strat is not the method of construction. They're both made the same way. So what justifies the $3,000 difference in cost? The difference is in the details: wood selection, smoothness of the finish, hardware, and one of the most obvious things is the fretwork. These are the things that you not only see with your eyes, but feel with your hands. But in my opinion, those things, other than the wood selection, are completely superficial. They have nothing to do with the construction of the instrument. So spending time on the details will give the player the impression of quality based on the builder's attention to detail, even if they are unaware of the methods used to construct the instrument. The detail work is more or less the player's first and most lasting impression of the guitar. So to start off, I'm going to cut away the excess neck blank. I didn't film it, but then I sand that part of the transition between the body wings and the neck blank perfectly smooth. Next, I have to cut a notch in the fretboard to have access to the truss rod. I prefer the truss rod adjustment to be in the heel. Taking off a truss rod cover and having to deal with the string tension between the nut and the tuning machines is a real pain. The heel adjustment is just easier for the player, but to look really nice, it requires access through the end of the fretboard. I've been using this kind of truss rod in most of my builds, but all of those with truss rod adjustments in the heel have been bolt-on necks. This is the first neck through design where I use the heel adjustment. I cut the outer edges of the notch by hand, giving the notch angled sides so the wrench will have room to move. Then I cut most of the waste away at the bandsaw. Using the bandsaw saves a lot of time, and it affords me less time with a chisel in my hand. For me, that's important. Chisels have been the cause of emergency room trips in the past. So to finish up, I use a marking knife to give me a solid outline for nice clean edges. I use chisels to carefully and slowly pare away the unwanted wood. This is another one of those tasks where I have to remind myself to go nice and slow. A slip of the chisel is bad news. You just can't put wood back on once it's gone. Well, actually you can, but that's a mistake I'd rather not have to fix. Because the neck blank is thicker than the body, it's a little more than an 1/8 inch proud of the top. When I was doing the initial design, I didn't want to rely on the thickness of the fretboard to give me the string height I'll need to have plenty of travel for pickup height adjustment and to allow for the thickness of the bridge. Since this is too much material to get rid of with a sander, I use a router to get rid of most of the excess. I just use a piece of plywood attached with double stick tape as a guide for the router, and I'm careful to set the depth so only a few thousandths of an inch are proud of the body wings. I've mentioned it before, but I want to give a little detail about my Israeli gas mask. I use it when I need to protect my lungs from dust, but more importantly, I use it when I need to keep things from flying into my eyes at close range, like using a router close up. I found one on Amazon for around $20, which is less than I would pay for a good respirator at Home Depot. The replacement filters are readily available, but I've had my mask for about 2 years now and I haven't needed a new filter yet. This particular mask uses a NATO 40mm canister filter. I figure if it can filter out nerve gas, it can do a pretty good job on dust. So now I just have to sand everything down nice and flush. In the next video, I'll finalize the control cavity and make the control cavity cover, which will be made of walnut. No plastic covers for this guitar. If you like the video and you're not yet a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. I'd also like to hear any comments you may have. So until next time, thanks for watching, and there you go.